Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Awesome Sunday Show. Before we get started, we'd like to tell you where you can find us.
You can find all of our episodes, including new content like blogs and guest blogs, on our newly launched website, awesomesundayshow.com.
Woohoo!
Our podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. You can find all those links also on awesomesundayshow.com.
You can also follow us on our social media accounts, twitter.com/awesomesunshow, facebook.com/awesomesundayshow, and instagram.com/awesomesundayshow.
Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Hey everybody, welcome to Awesome Sunday Show. Connor here.
And Pat?
Pat, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, you know. It's a Saturday, I'm off from work, which is weird, but it means I got to sleep in, stay up late and play some Mario Kart, however you like to say it. We're not judging here, right?
No, I mean, I judge you for other things, but I won't judge you for that.
Yeah, so today's topic is going to be a little more of like an in-depth analysis more than anything about a certain little independent movie coming out next year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
no, that has no big name actors. I think
It's like probably small ass cast too.
Yeah, $100,000 budget. I think the most.
Not even, dude, like 10,000 maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's true. It's called Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, like, we don't like that, but we can do it
Yeah,
for the people.
for the people.
But before we get to that, Connor, do you like video games?
Love video games.
I love video games too, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners love video games. So guess what? We got a special offer for you today. This episode is sponsored by GameFly.com. GameFly.com has over 8,000 new releases and classics available to rent for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, Wii U, 3DS, and all the older systems.
What about Virtual Boy?
You know what? They might.
Hopefully.
I mean, that'd be hard to find. You could always play Lawnmower Man. As a GameFly member, you can rent as many console and handheld games as you want and get them delivered right to your mailbox for one low monthly fee. And if you like a game so much and you don't want to send it back, guess what? You can keep it for a low use price. Never any due dates, no late fees. And you know what? They also offer the availability to rent Blu-ray and DVD movies as part of their regular service at no extra charge.
That's pretty baller.
No extra charge. So, for our listeners, we have this special offer. GameFly is offering a premium free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. All you got to do to start your free trial is go to gameflyoffer.com/awesome. That's what, Connor?
Gamefly.com or gameflyoffer.com/awesome.
Yes. And you know what? You'll get a free 30-day trial. That's pretty awesome. And listen,
That is pretty sweet.
with the trial, you know, if you don't like it, which I'd be surprised if you don't, because this is a great service, you just cancel it. But I'm sure that you'll love it. And they have their two popular membership plans. You get a one-disc plan for $15.95. You play that game as much as you want, and then send it back. Or you get the two-disc plan for just $7 more at $22.95. Listen, you want to know why you should sign up, Connor?
Why? Tell me.
Convenience.
That's true.
They're shipped directly to you in pre-addressed envelope, and they send you a pre-addressed envelope for easy returns. You don't have to. It's not a hassle. It's simple. No contracts. Cancel anytime, and you can have multiple games or movies at the same time. So if you want to play a little bit of both, it's cool. It's cool. You can rent games online or through the mobile app whenever you're at home or on the go. Doesn't matter.
No.
They got you everywhere. Rentals ship to arrive on the actual game release dates. Say a new game comes out and you don't want to buy it, you can rent it on the day it comes out.
That's I think the biggest drawer, like right there.
Yeah. you don't have to stand outside for midnight releases anymore. Sometimes it gets really cold, rainy. You don't want to do that. Plus, nobody's going to treat you as well as GameFly will. Listen, cost savings. Instead of buying 2 to 3 $60 games a year, you get this low membership, and you can get as many as you want for the year. And like I mentioned, their selection, over 8,000 games.
That's a lot. You can't play 8,000 games.
You can't play 8,000 games. And you know what? Like I said, to get this free 30-day trial of this great service, go to GameFlyOffer.com/awesome. Thank you, GameFly, for sponsoring us today.
Pat, guess what?
Chicken butt. What?
We have another sponsor that I would like to mention.
Nice. Let's do it.
Today's show is also brought to you by Barkbox.com. Barkbox.com is an easy and convenient way to get toys and food for your lovely puppy that you love. It ships right to your door, and every month there's a unique variety of toys and treats that you wouldn't really find anywhere else at any stores. Every month, Barkbox Paw picks the best all-natural treats and innovative toys to match a dog's unique needs, including allergies and heavy chewer preferences. All edibles are made in the U.S. or Canada, and 100% of their products are tested on animals that they own. So you know it's safe for your dog as well, Pat. Barkbox is a great way to try a variety of treats and toys from local and small businesses that you may not otherwise be able to find. Each monthly box is themed: Country Fair, Bark Ball, Pooh York City, Brooklyn Hipster, etc. That one's actually kind of funny. New and unique toys continue to keep dogs engaged, interested, and happy. And according to their Scouts Honor, Barkbox, if your dog does not like something in the box, which can very well happen, they'll send you something they'll love for free, because they're all about dogs' happiness. So if your dog gets a nice squeaky toy that you're like, hey, do you like this dog? And the dog just doesn't want to play with the squeaky toy at all, no problem, no commitment. You can just send it back and they'll replace it for you. That's pretty cool, actually. And if you live within the continental U.S., free shipping to anything from Barkbox if you're for a subscriber. And when the dog falls in love with something from the box, you can easily find it again on barkshop.com or by the app, or you can also text them as well, because that's how personal they are. Now, if you sign up for barkbox.com, do it through us. You can go to www.getbarkbox.com/awesome. I'm going to repeat that, www.getbarkbox.com/awesome. And including that, you get a 1-month free extra trial, whether you subscribe for a 6-month or 12-month period. So you get 7 months or 13 months, because one of those is free.
That's awesome.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah. So, if you have a dog and you love that dog, you're like, I just want to give you toys, but you don't want to spend the gas money, or, you don't want to keep looking or anything like that. You just want someone else to pick for you, but also that cares about your dog's happiness. Subscribe to Barkbox.
That sounds great. And, your dog's going to love it.
Yeah.
And you want your dog to be happy, because dogs are awesome. Thank you, Barkbox, for sponsoring today's episode.
And GameFly. You guys are great. Now, on to the topic of the day, Avengers Infinity War. This is the next big Avengers movie, and you know what? It's been building up since Iron Man 1. This universe has been building up since Iron Man 1 back in 2008. And then since Avengers, that little bonus clip at the end that they like to do. Yeah.
With that big purple smile setting up this guy. He's a little scrawny, I would say, but
he's not tough.
Thanos, the Avengers, and not just the Avengers, Connor.
The Guardians of the freaking Galaxy
are going to be teaming up to take down Thanos. You know what? They call him Thanos the Mad Titan, and he is crazy powerful.
Yeah, I can't think of. There are more powerful figures in the Marvel cinematic, or in the Marvel universe in general. So far, not in the cinematic universe. You have Galactus, you have Death,
Celestials, Phoenix Force.
But Thanos ranks up there with them.
Yeah, and he's been he's been involved in a lot of storylines.
Yeah, he is. It's debatable, I think, maybe who's more powerful. I would say Darkseid's more powerful, but he is Darkseid level threat.
Yeah, and those of you who don't know Darkseid, he is like one of the biggest bads in DC comics. and he'll be in not well. He might be at the end of the first Justice League, but he's going to be the villain for sure of Justice League 2, unless they go the Thanos route and push him off for like a later Justice League movie after the second one.
Boo.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, Thanos, you got your first glimpse of him in a post-credit scene at the end of the first Avengers. You got him again in a post-credit scene in Age of Ultron where he grabs the Infinity Gauntlet. And then we actually saw him on screen for, a little bit of time interacting with Gamora, who is, of course, a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Ronan, after he hired Ronan to bring him the orb which contained the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
So pretty much his goal is to collect all the Infinity Stones, put them in the Gauntlet, and get even more powerful. Like, pretty much the Infinity Stones are the most powerful objects in the universe. And when you have all of them and attached to the Infinity Gauntlet, you could summon just unheard of power.
Godlike, would you say?
I would say godlike, yeah, for sure. I mean, think about it. You got Power Stone, Time Stone, Reality Stone, Space Stone. You just name them all, and you can just control anything, really.
Yeah.
They are all crazy powerful, just on their own, too. Like, and, you got Vision has the Mind Stone, and he's one of the strongest, Avengers you could possibly get right now. Pretty much, like, when he's in full control of that. He kind of reminds me of he's like Thor and Hulk level powerful. Maybe even a little bit more because of the Mind Stone and what it's capable of. But at this point, when we last saw him in Civil War, he still wasn't able to unlock its full potential because he still doesn't know much about it.
He doesn't understand it.
Yeah, he doesn't understand it. He outright admits it.
He doesn't even. Yeah, he doesn't. He either says he doesn't understand it or he doesn't fully know. Which is the same thing. But
yeah, and so he hasn't unlocked its full potential, which can make. And he's already really fucking powerful. So that like, if he unlocks that potential, he could only get more powerful. But with one of those alone, in Thor: The Dark World with the Reality Stone, you saw the battle between Thor and the Dark Elf. And they were literally through two planes in two different spots in the universe intersecting. Their battle outside of Asgard on whatever the name of that planet was, that like barren planet. And it was at the same time, it was piercing through space and attacking Earth at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like blinking back and forth between it because of that connection. And we saw the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy and how strong it made Ronan, and he didn't even really get to use it to its full potential. When the Collector was describing it, he showed off the Celestials, and with pretty much 1 pound on the ground from a staff, it could wipe out an entire planet if the user can handle it.
Right, which Ronan clearly could.
Yeah. He just didn't get the opportunity to fully use it.
Right. Thankfully. Otherwise, there would be no Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Right.
Volume 2.
Right. And you know what? So, like, the Infinity War is going to be about Thanos gathering the Infinity Stones. And he's going to have to come to Earth for it, too, obviously, because the Mind Stone is there. And then the Time Stone, as we know, Doctor Strange has that in the Eye of Agamotto. So a lot of the movie is going to take place both probably in space and then on Earth. Like we said, the Guardians are going to meet up with the Avengers and Earth's other heroes. As of right now, it just the movie heroes, none of the TV heroes, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I mean, that'd be a great surprise if they were in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, well, you have Captain America though. I mean, like you can make the argument that the heroes in. No, that's actually bullshit. The heroes in the TV universe could totally hold their own in Infinity War. Luke Cage is impenetrable, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Thanos is not going to be alone. He's obviously going to have minions with him.
Yeah.
They could take down some minions while, like, the bigger names go after Thanos head on. Yeah, the more powerful ones like Hulk and Thor.
That could work. You might see that in
Plus
part 2.
Yeah. Plus Captain Marvel is going to be in it, I believe. And Captain Marvel is very, very powerful. Actually, she's like one of the strongest heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And they may or may not nerf her in the movies, but I doubt they will, especially because going forward, after the big names like Captain America and Iron Man and so, like whether when their contracts run up or whether they die, she will step up in a leadership role. I'm guaranteeing it.
Yeah. I think so too. I think
she's going to be part of the new wave.
Right. Just like in the comics, really.
Yeah. Yeah, just like in the comics. And so the majority of the movie is going to be about Thanos gathering the stones from in space and then on Earth. And, there's going to be so many characters in this, but in a recent interview, Kevin Feige said that, there's not really one, if you were to pick one main character of the movie, it would be Thanos. Not any of the heroes, but Thanos, which I think is the better idea. They should do that because they've been building up to him for, over a dozen movies. They need to make him worth that stretch.
Yeah, he's got to be a main character.
Yeah, he has to be the main character, and we'll have to see a lot of it from his point of view,
which I hope we do
on his journey.
Because you don't see that a lot, like in major villainous movies, where it's like
you rarely ever see it from the villain's point of view.
But the Marvel has had a villain problem in the past,
and
but their more interesting villains were the ones that we explored their point of view, which was Mads Mikkelsen and Doctor Strange, and I think Loki, and then I think he's very underrated, but he's obviously not as good, but I think people dismiss him as Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull.
Yeah, I thought Hugo Weaving was excellent.
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, but that's 3 villains out of how many movies now?
And 2 of them are dead or lost.
Yeah,
otherwise, because we don't. I mean, Red Skull probably died because we saw him get sucked into the vortex from the Tesseract.
I think he's going to be in Infinity War.
That'd be awesome because Hugo Weaving is an excellent actor and Red Skull is a great character. But we technically didn't see him die, so he's still alive somewhere. And then Mads Mikkelsen is with Dormammu, not necessarily dead, but he's in that realm. He could still be serving Dormammu there.
Do you think that's going to be the next Marvel baddie, like after Thanos?
Dormammu, I think that is. I mean, as of right now, he seems like he would be because Dormammu is crazy powerful too.
Yeah.
And, Doctor Strange didn't kill him because you can't kill him really.
Yeah, well, not in that sense.
Yeah, he just.
And I don't think that was there. That was actually Dormammu, like
no
that representation.
Just, yeah, I don't think that was his physical form.
I hope if they ever show his physical form, he looks like he does comic book wise,
just on fire.
Yeah.
And he didn't defeat him; he just bargained with him. Obviously. If you saw the scene.
It was pretty funny.
So, yeah, Dormammu is still definitely very active. But, they built up... Kevin Feige, in the same interview, talking about Thanos being the main character, admitted, he goes, yeah, we may have a villain problem, but that's not because we dislike our villains or we don't have good villains. It's because our story's about the heroes, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But you do want a great villain to counteract the heroes, to balance it out. And obviously they haven't done a great job with that. But the stories with the heroes have almost all been, excellent.
Yeah, and even the ones that aren't so excellent still represent the heroes in a decent way.
Yeah.
I mean, I still, even though we always talk about how the Thor movies are not controversial, but there are various that have opinions whether people like the first one more or like the second one more,
or if they even like them at all.
Yeah, if they like them at all. I like the second one a lot. I actually really do like. Besides the scenes with Jane Foster, I think it's actually a pretty solid movie.
Yeah,
or Kat Dennings. I think those characters were just useless. But
and from all what we're hearing and what even though we know is going to be in the new Thor, I'm hoping is great.
Not that Jane Foster was useless in the movie. She obviously has a huge part in it, but
the character herself.
Yeah, the character herself was just annoying. But hopefully Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok is a step in the right direction.
Right. And like Feige admitted, like, yeah, but this will change with Thanos, and you know what? I hope so, because he's one of the biggest bads in Marvel in the comics, and they've been building it up for so long. Like, they have to make him great. Like, they need him to be an excellent villain in the movie.
Yeah,
they need to write him excellently.
That's why I think, especially in the that clip of like the first day of shooting, we only saw a few of the heroes, but we didn't see Josh Brolin at all.
Right.
And we only saw, but they showed you. They made sure that they showed you Thanos, and they talked about Thanos
A lot. Yeah.
a lot. So I almost want to say like, it's kind of like they're still doing that build up to Thanos. They're giving you a little bit, but then like it's gonna come right at you like in the movie.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, even if they did show Josh Brolin, he's doing mocap, so it wouldn't have really made a difference. It would have been interesting to hear from him though, in that, like, his perspective and how he's approaching the character.
I don't even think they want to. I don't think they want to show him anywhere of anything about it.
I mean,
I think they don't want to. They want to keep this a secret, just as much as they want to keep Rey's origin a secret in Star Wars. Like, it's just that,
Yeah, and I mean, because Josh Brolin wasn't cast as Thanos until Guardians, which he did mocap for, because like when we first saw Thanos at the end of the Avengers movie, it was just completely CGI, and he didn't say anything. He just smiled.
right. And that Thanos, if you compare that Thanos to where he looks like to where he looks like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they look completely different.
Yeah, I mean, most notably, their faces are different colors.
Completely. Yeah. Josh Brolin's more pink. Josh Brolin's
He's like straight purple, but in Avengers, he was more of like a reddish, almost.
Yeah. It's like,
Or like
it's
a
definitely
heavier purple.
pinker. Like, it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm just colorblind. I don't know. Maybe I am. Don't scare me. But like, it just seemed a little more pink than what it was in. Maybe it's just because it was so reddish in their first Avengers movie. But he looks way more like the comics in Guardians and Infinity War than he does in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I want to maybe we'll get like a little bit of Thanos' background in it, hopefully. I'm looking at this thing that Josh Brolin said, and he's quoting like how he got involved with the character Thanos, and he said, Louis D'Esposito, who is the co-president of Marvel Studios, he called me up and started talking about this thing. It was nice because I can intimately talk to him about it, what I liked, what I didn't like, the whole idea of it. So he's having input on his character,
Right.
which is good. And it's really exciting because the possibilities that it could become, not as an idea or as a blockbuster, but just as something different. It's a character mentality. And Brolin said he's looking to explore the humanity of the character, saying there's parts of him that are unfounded to him, which will be found. So obviously they want to add a lot of depth to him, which they should, because Thanos has a troubled past in a way.
Right.
Like, he was outcast from his own kind because of how he looked and because of his personality, amongst other things. And, of his desires. Like, in the comics, the reason he does what he does and the reason he wants the Infinity Gauntlet is to destroy life so he can appease death.
Right.
And be with her because he's in love with death.
That's literally it. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I love.
And I don't mean by death. I mean the entity death, not like the concept of death and dying.
See, now I think this leads to a very interesting point. I don't know if you were going to make a certain point or not.
You said
it's. I wonder how they're going to tackle it in the movie universe, because the movie universe, the cinematic universe, changes a lot of things. Some for the better, some for the worse.
Yeah.
But so far, it's obviously worked out for the better overall. Do you think death? Do you think he's going to love death, the concept of death, or do you think we're actually going to see the entity death in the cinematic universe? We saw Dormammu.
We did see Dormammu. I would love to see death. I mean, that would be a difficult concept to introduce.
I mean, they introduced a raccoon that talks in the space.
Yeah, that's true.
And everyone
but
bought
in
it.
in the concept of the movie, it worked because they also had a talking sentient tree. That was
The fact that they did that is still,
Yeah.
you know,
but like
pretty baller.
the concept of death and the entity of death is very, very tricky, I would say. And I don't know if they would do it. I don't know if the Fox has the rights because in the comics, Deadpool is also in love with death and heavily involved with death, the entity.
yeah.
So it could also be a rights thing, or it may not fit what they're going for. They may his motivation may just be for ultimate power to rule over fucking life itself and the entire universe or something.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll find out in the movie. So it's hard to speculate. I mean, he could be Hela, who is going to be in Thor Ragnarok, played by Cate Blanchett, is the Asgardian goddess of hell, and death and the after, the negative aspect of the afterlife. So maybe she could be involved somehow. I mean, Cate Blanchett is not currently known to be in the movie. So that's why I'm thinking it might be more, his motivations might be more just for ultimate power.
It would make sense. It's just I would want to see something different just because
I mean, because it is a pretty the
It's just
idea of the entity known as death is pretty out there. I mean, it works in the comics because you could literally
But how
do
many
anything in there
times
that
have we
would work.
seen this? It's essentially just a larger scale version of taking over the world, which is I loved in the Street Fighter live action movie when they're you just want to take over the world. He's like, of course, of course I want to take over the world.
Because then he would have ultimate power on Earth.
Yeah, but I just would it's just how many times have we seen in movies they want to take over the world?
Well, in this aspect, he'd be taking over
It's
the
literally,
universe
yeah, but it's just a larger scale.
and shaping it in his way.
Yeah, but it's just it's just another larger. It's just taking over shit on a larger scale. I don't know. Not that that's bad. I'm not I'm not gonna boycott the movie or anything if it's him just taking over the universe, because that obviously is enough motivation. I would just personally like to see something different.
Yeah, I mean they could. We don't. You don't know, but I mean obviously we'll find out his motivations as it gets closer, because this is coming out next year. It's not that far away. It's coming out May 4th of next year. So obviously we'll learn more information by then, and then probably by I would say November, December. I think we'll get a trailer, or
Yeah,
maybe
that soon?
even at Comic-Con we'll get a teaser, or right after it.
Well,
if you think
I don't
about
doubt that. I think we'll get something at Comic-Con, but a full-blown trailer,
Because,
I don't know if we're gonna get this year.
Yeah, we'll at least get a minute-long teaser or something. Because if you remember, at Comic-Con they showed a teaser, and then not too long after that, a month or two after that, the first teaser for Guardians was released, and that also is coming out this May.
Mm-hmm.
So it's around that timetable. Plus, they're going to want to hype the hell out of people. So I would say that's plausible.
Okay.
And then not too long after that, we'll get a full length trailer, because we just got technically the second trailer of Guardians. No, actually, it is. It's not technically. It is a second Guardians trailer. So I think that's likely, and we'll probably get one more Guardians trailer before May. So I think that's a likelihood of when we will see footage, actual footage from Infinity War, instead of just behind the scenes, details. Originally, as you may or may not know, whoever's listening to this, it depends on how much you keep up with it. Infinity War was originally slated to be 2 parts.
Yeah, it was I remember when they announced. I think it was 2 years ago. They announced
it was Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, was it 2 or 3 years ago? It was either 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was either 2 or 3 years ago.
It was Kevin Feige that
3 years ago, October 2014.
Okay. Yeah. So Kevin Feige was on stage, and then remember the Captain America Civil War was called Captain America
Serpent Society, I
or
think.
Secret Serpent or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something with Serpent. And like it was just it was a blatant lie. It was like,
Yeah.
but it was funny. It wasn't like,
Or
it wasn't meant to
I don't know if it was.
it wasn't maliciously.
I don't know if it was necessarily a lie or if just at the time Robert Downey Jr. wasn't signed on for to do a Civil War movie.
No, well, no, but they changed it there, like on stage,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think,
and he was there.
yeah.
He was there on stage. Like they.
No, I know, but I think 'cause
When I said blatant lie, it wasn't malicious. It
I
was
think
just it was a funny like
they-
little
they
like,
didn't
gotcha.
They didn't do the Serpent thing prior to that.
No, I don't think they did.
Oh, okay. I thought they did. But yeah, regardless. But yes,
because he announced the whole timeline.
Yeah, but regardless, this was supposed to be or originally Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, with Part 2 coming out in I think May of 2019, sometime in 2019. I don't know if it was earlier in the year or later, with new character solo movies between the two.
Right.
But right now they said it's going to be two separate movies. That doesn't mean it can't be a continuation of Thanos' story. I think they could still do that.
Yeah, I still think Thanos is the big bad.
I'm hoping that they still the Avengers movie in 2019 will still involve Thanos. I think with how much they've been building him up and how much they can do with Thanos, especially, that they should make the second movie also heavily involving him.
But would he be the main villain?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how Infinity War ends.
Yeah, it's so confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know if it's Thanos or it could be something else with Thanos involved. It's so weird because I feel like something with this much buildup, it made sense. Like, you know how like those shitty, like, well, I don't want to say the Hunger Games, like the first two movies were good, but like how like the Twilight movies ended and like the Hunger Games, they split the last book into two films.
Yeah.
Because Harry Potter did it, and I don't really know how. Like, I know everyone loved the last two movies, but
Yeah, Harry Potter did it right because it had an 800-page book, and the other ones, well,
Right.
Twilight movies sucked balls, but
this makes sense because there's so much buildup and there's so much characters that, like, if you're gonna put it in like let's say this is a 3-hour movie, which it very well could be.
yeah, it'll probably be close to that.
You would still, I feel like, need to split it up into two movies so you can get everything across. Unless they sat down and said this is a way to do it in a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
And involve everybody.
I mean, it's possible. I would want Thanos to be in the one after that, though. I think it would.
And they have some crazy idea for originally what was Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah. Because there is still so many storylines that they could involve Thanos in, other than just the Infinity Gauntlet one.
Right.
Another thing that we might get an answer in the movie, but a lot of people had questions about after Age of Ultron, because Thanos had an Infinity Gauntlet in Age of Ultron, but it was a left-handed one. And when we first saw the Infinity Gauntlet, it was in Thor, in Odin's safe. It was a right-handed one, I believe. So, want to know if it's the same one, how he got that one, or if he did have a second one.
Or if it wasn't just a mistake.
Yeah. Or if it just wasn't like, oh, like we had this Easter egg here and like weren't sure if we were going to use it, just wanted it as an Easter egg and then turn it into a thing. It depends.
That happens all the time in movies. Like, look, just we always talk about Star Wars like on here, but it's just impossible to avoid. But like in Star Wars, like how many ideas were thought up of and then just expanded on later on. Darth Vader wasn't originally like a Sith. The Darth title wasn't a thing. Like that was this thing in the prequels, calling people Darth.
Yeah,
as their like Sith name. So it very well makes sense that they didn't have this fully planned by that point, and it was just a little teaser, and they decided to expand upon it, and it just so happened to switch ideas.
It could be, or or
switch hands. I mean,
yeah, it could be. There are two gauntlets or whatever, or it could be it's the same gauntlet, but when Loki was working for him, after Loki failed in order to, save his own life, took it out of Odin's vault and gave it to Thanos in exchange for like his life and not destroying Asgard. because remember at the end of the Dark World, Loki was posing as Odin.
Right.
So it's extremely possible. Speaking of which, depending on how Thor Ragnarok turns out, we don't know how that's going to go down. But I would love to see Odin go toe-to-toe with Thanos because Odin is one of the most powerful figures in Marvel, too. The Odin Force is just
But could Anthony Hopkins, move like that?
I don't know. That would be tough.
Because,
he's elderly.
It would look kind of funny, actually.
Yeah. That would still be awesome, though.
The guy, did you ever see Kung Fury?
No.
Oh, okay. The guy that they get to play Thor in that movie, actually looks more like an Odin character, and that old dude looks like he can kick some fucking ass.
Yeah.
You should watch Kung Fury. It's amazing.
All right, I will. Yeah, I mean, that would be so great. Because Odin, even though he's an old man, is really, really powerful.
Yeah, he is. It's just, I don't know how they I love Anthony Hopkins. I think he's an amazing actor, and apparently he kills it in Westworld. I haven't watched it yet, but
I haven't watched it either.
I just can't imagine him fighting.
Yeah.
He did that shitty movie with Chris Rock where they're hitmen or something or assassins. I saw half of it on HBO years ago, and I couldn't even finish it. I was like, dude, I can't take Anthony Hopkins seriously as an action guy.
Yeah.
He was great in the other Thor movies because he didn't have to move. He just had to act, and he's great at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they won't have to have him fight for long, obviously. He could, go weak or whatever. Or if they just show him using the Odin Force as an energy, that'd be great.
But
or bestowing it on
if you're
Thor.
But if you're going to do it, then go at it with some balls because when Odin fights. He throws punches, he throws kicks, he's there.
He's got the spear.
Yeah, he's a fucking he'll fuck you up, and it just I don't know. I hope I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
And also too, Anthony Hopkins was in the Wolfman remake with Benicio del Toro, and he had to fight in that movie too, and it looked funny. It looked really.
That was how many years ago?
Yeah, but exactly, he was younger, and it still looked funny. And then, granted, he's a CGI wolf, but it's still I don't know. I couldn't take it seriously. Well, maybe I hope this is one of those things. I hope my expectations are blown away. That if he does have to fight, and I'm I was completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, he's not even
killed it.
As of right now, he's not even in the movie.
Right.
But they could still add people, or or not. It depends. Because it already is in production. It's already filming. But right now, the characters consist of the main Avengers that we've seen since the beginning, plus characters from Doctor Strange, plus Guardians. So it's a lot to work with and a lot that they can fiddle around with.
Yeah. Do you think that because in the who do we see again? It's Tony Stark, Peter Parker. It was Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, and who was the other?
Chris Pratt.
It was Chris Pratt. Yeah. So we saw them all in the 3-minute video of the first save shoot.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna? And I say this unfortunately, but do you think that some characters that we loved in the previous movies are not going to get as much screen time? Do you think they're going to cut out
I mean, it could happen because that's a lot of heroes.
It's so many.
I think when it was first announced, they had something almost 60 or something like that characters to choose from, or that they will involve. But right now, I mean, the sheer amount of heroes alone that we know are in it is a lot. It's full rosters of the first Avengers, the second Avengers, Doctor Strange, almost full rosters, Guardians. Plus, remember, in the trailers of Guardians, we are seeing Yondu also join the team.
Right.
So now it's a team of 6, but it's still another person. Even though Michael Rooker is not confirmed to be in Infinity War as of right now. But, we don't know what characters that are going to be in Spider-Man Homecoming may also join in.
Right.
Other than Spider-Man.
Well, I think at that point.
But those characters, if they're not a big name, big hero, will obviously just be show up and then be hey.
Yeah, I'm sure that if anything, I think it's really just gonna be Spider-Man and Iron Man from the new Spider-Man movie inside.
Yeah. And that's a smart idea.
I don't want to see Michael Keaton's Vulture. in there. He'll probably die.
in Infinity War. I don't want him to die, but there'd be no room for him in Infinity
No,
War.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he will be in there. Like, I don't think villains like that from previous Marvel movies are going to show up because they're either dead or just irrelevant right now.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Loki will, and that'd be it. Like, really, and
Or possibly, like we mentioned, Red Skull.
Yeah. But I think Loki is way more likely than Red Skull.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, because as of right now, Loki's still alive. But I think that unfortunately, it's some characters will obviously get less time than others, whether they're killed off early or they're just not in the forefront of the action. Now, do you think some of these heroes will die?
Yes, I think so because I think this is, and I think that could be a repercussion into the second movie, depending whether Thanos is the main villain or not the main villain.
Yeah.
The heroes that we lose. I don't think the major ones are gonna die. I think we'll see some of the side minor ones. Like I think the Falcon could die. I think Scarlet Witch could die. Like those heroes.
They could, but I don't think they will because those two maybe. I mean, they may or may not, but I think that they're likely safe because they're going to need them. I mean, they could always add more and more heroes, because they have so many movies lined up to make them in the main fold. But, because the contracts of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Hemsworth are coming to an end almost soon. I think that their contracts actually run out either after Infinity War or the Avengers after that. And Robert Downey Jr. isn't sure if he's going to come back. Chris Evans originally didn't want to do anymore, but then after Winter Soldier and then after production on Civil War, changed his mind. He's like, yeah, no, I want to do more.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? Those movies were awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but it is a huge commitment that a lot of actors do want to either avoid or at some point get out of a franchise like that.
They don't want to be typecast.
Right, they don't want to be typecast, plus they want more freedom to do other things.
And especially with the money they've been making off those movies, they can just...
Well, Robert Downey Jr., alone is just making crazy amount of money. I mean, he made $80 million from Age of Ultron.
The funniest thing that Joss Whedon never said after the production of the first Avengers, they asked him how much he was getting paid. He's like, "Well, I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you that it's not Downey money."
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's a new figure is Downey money.
Yeah. I mean, he is super profitable. His movies that aren't good still make money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he launched the whole universe. And the only reason that money that he makes that money is because it's, the percentage of how much he makes off the box office has definitely increased. But the reason for Iron Man 1 he made so much money is because he was such a risk that they had to pay him lower up front.
Yeah.
And then he gave him the box office receipts as, his other payment. And they ended up paying way more than they would have had they given him money up front. But at the time he was like, a risk. So then his deal has just gotten sweeter since then as the movies make more money. But I think the most likely ones to die would be, Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, and Thor. It would be one of them or two of them will probably die.
I don't want Hulk to die.
I don't want Hulk to die either, especially because Mark Ruffalo has only he will now be in 3 movies.
Yeah.
So he probably has more on his contract, but, we haven't had another Hulk solo movie. And that's because Universal still, as of right now, owns the rights for a solo Hulk movie. But I think that the reason Falcon and Scarlet Witch are less at least Scarlet Witch for sure, are less likely to die is because they need big names to continue, and they are the new wave.
Yeah, they are. And
because you see in Civil War, they're the new Avengers team.
And those actors are prominent now.
Yeah, they're prominent. And they're young. Anthony Mackie, I think, is...
Anthony Mackie's he's a very good actor.
He is a really good actor.
Yeah.
And I think he's almost I think he's 40-ish, but Elizabeth Olsen is young. She's like
she's like our age.
she's like 2 years older than us, I think. Let's see. She's 27.
Okay, so she's a year older than us.
Yeah. But yeah, Anthony Mackie is like 38 or 40 or something like that. One of those two. So he's still got, time on his, to go. I mean, so Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth are both young. Robert Downey Jr. is, like 50 something. And, Tom Holland is 19, I think.
Tom Holland's 20.
Or 20. Yeah. So they're still young actors who have a long ways to go. But, Vision is the lead candidate to die because Thanos is going to have to rip the Mind Stone from his head.
Yeah.
And that will either, that will likely kill Vision or it will just severely damage him to the point, like, if he gets into a fight, then he'll die. Or he'll be useless. I mean, it could go either way. But I think he's a likely candidate to die. And then they could always find another way to, revive him or whatever.
Right.
But, like, Doctor Strange is not going to die, obviously. One of the Guardians could die. Won't be Star-Lord, though, for sure.
It won't be Star-Lord. I don't know, because I think they've only ever made 2 movies now, because, I mean, the Volume 2 comes out next month, right?
May.
Oh, it comes out in May?
Yeah.
So
and
3 months.
There's going to be a third one.
Yeah, there's going to be
100%.
Yeah, it's like...
And they're not going to kill off Chris Pratt, because Chris Pratt is a rising star, and he is the most popular...
I don't think they're going to kill any of the original 5 at all. I don't think any of them are going to die.
I don't think they will, but I
People
can see them,
love those movies.
If they're going to kill one of them, I could see them killing Drax. Not that I want them to, because I love Drax. Drax is great.
Yeah. And I say people love those movies because there's people that already love the second movie and it hasn't even come out yet.
Well, actually, speaking of the second movie, in test screenings so far, it's scored 100%.
Really?
100% satisfaction, like 100 out of 100. Like Marvel does their scale. I mean, for general audiences, like they rate the movie out of 100. And like a lot of the Marvel movies were their average, like Iron Man was like 90 out of 100, I think, or something like that. And Guardians is the first one to do 100 out of 100. Which is, I mean, amazingly impressive during a test screening.
That's really good.
During test
That's almost unheard of.
Because like a lot of changes do come out of test screenings because they use fan input, the people who see it.
Not Batman vs Superman.
Well, but yeah, like Guardians, even people who aren't like big into Marvel movies, Guardians, a lot of them still love Guardians.
Yeah, like my parent, or I shouldn't say parents, but like my dad doesn't really like Marvel movies very much. He doesn't like comic book movies. He's not into them. The only ones he really likes is Batman. Like he will ask about Batman. Like, hey, how's a Batman movie going on? Because it's Batman.
Yeah.
But he loved Guardians of the Galaxy. That's almost not really a comic book movie. It's more of a sci-fi movie. Based on a comic book.
I think it's. I mean, it's not exact. It's kind of like a space opera, like Star Wars in a way.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not as the universe is nowhere near as expansive as Star
obviously.
Wars, but not in the Guardians universe. In the Marvel universe, it is. But people who are like into sci-fi or space opera too, that's a thing. Like you can see the reason why Guardians I think is so popular, especially now, 2 or 3 years later, is it's just really going off of what you just said. Or like what we've been saying, or the point I want to make, I should say, that it's a comic book movie, but also a sci-fi space opera too. So like you don't have to.
It has a broad appeal. Plus, the humor is.
And I think that's what they try to want to convey in Infinity War, with them meeting up with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I think there will be a like, hey, you might not be super into comic book movies, but you liked Guardians of the Galaxy, and you love sci-fi and space opera, so there's some of that in here too.
Yeah.
Which also might be another factor in differentiating part 1 and part 2. Well, formerly part 2. I don't know. There's just so much to this that like you can't. It's such a. The more you unravel, the more questions come out.
Yeah.
It's just like a wait and see thing.
Right. And something I just thought of going back to the idea of Marvel not being great with their villains in the movies. I think Thanos will be a great villain because the Russo brothers are directing it. And I think in Captain America: Winter Soldier, both Winter Soldier and Hydra and Robert Redford's character were all great villains. Mm-hmm. Like other than Loki, probably the best up to that point. And then I think Zemo, and even maybe if you want to consider Iron Man, depending on which side you were, you could consider Captain America or Iron Man to also have been villains in Civil War. But Zemo was a pretty great villain too.
Yeah.
So I think that will add to this substantiation of Thanos in this. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's still so many questions because there's so many unknowns. One thing to mention is, though, Benedict Cumberbatch, he's going to have a stand-in during filming, and then once he completes filming for the current war, he's going to reshoot the scenes where his face needs to be seen. Which, stinks that he can't be there for the main filming, but
Yeah.
hopefully the current war he seems worth it to do it. But I mean, the reshoots will probably happen anyway, so it doesn't really make.
Well,
a
that
difference.
happens like every movie. You know?
Yeah.
I just hope with this movie, I mean, that whatever reshoots do happen, as much as I loved Rogue One and I like it more and more I watch it, it definitely, you can tell that it's a movie like that. Reshoots definitely played a huge factor in.
Yeah.
Just like Suicide Squad, but it worked out better for Star Wars.
Yeah, obviously.
But so far from what Marvel's been doing, I mean, especially with Guardians of the Galaxy having the 100 out of 100, like you said, I don't really have any fear. And what the Russo brothers did with Winter Soldier, how they turned Captain America around.
Seriously.
As many confusing questions or confusing questions that we give each other here, or like what we don't know, there's also a level of trust. It's not like the DCEU where I'm like, it's fucked. Whereas like
right.
Things that
Marvel, the MCU has established itself, and Marvel has established itself.
When I'm confused about something in the cinematic universe of Marvel,
it's just because
I'm excited. I'm glad I'm confused.
And it's not even that you're confused; you're just unknown. It's not like you're confused with the decision they made. It's just because you don't have the details to like.
But I know they're coming.
Yeah, they're coming, and I think Marvel has established themselves as pretty solid, and they know what they're doing, especially since Kevin Feige was given full control.
Yeah, thankfully.
And the directors and writers they've been choosing, like they're giving them. I mean, it is because of Feige, more free reign and putting their spin on it. Like Taika Waititi, he's making this crazy Thor movie that has like video game influences and stuff in it, and he's like letting them work, Yeah. And I think the same thing. Winter Soldier was also similar, even though at that time Feige was not in full control. They let the Russo brothers work. They let James Gunn do his own thing for Guardians, and that was a massive hit that nobody expected. So obviously they have faith in it. Plus, Feige has so far proven himself to be a wonderful architect of this universe.
Yeah, it's cool, and he even though he is the architect in what you said before, is like they let James Gunn do his thing. They let the Russos do their thing. He knows how to I think he knows how to give just enough creative control to where he's like, listen, I'm just follow these guidelines, and then besides that, do what you want.
Yeah, like he probably per film he probably has a basic vision. He goes, all right, listen. These like 3 things, work them into the script.
Yeah,
and then
but build how you want to build it around it.
Right. He just make sure these things are included. Build it how you want to work it. Whatever. And when that happens, it works.
Right, because I think it's letting the creators put their creativity to their best use.
Right.
Which is why, if someone can write and direct, they're doing it in the movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's someone just directing, they know like this guy's just going to direct it. And like did Shane Black also write Iron Man 3, or did he just direct it?
Oh, he also wrote it.
It's so annoying. Because I like Shane Black a lot. I like The Nice Guys. I thought was great.
See, now talking about confusing, like them making the Mandarin fake, that was a confusing twist because you're like, why did you do that?
Well, that's what I mean by confusion before is that like I'm confused about certain things and how they're going to play it out. I think unknown is definitely the better term. It's still exciting though.
Yeah.
I mean, Iron Man 3. That's the only movie I don't like out of 13 or 14, whatever it is.
And that's really just because of that Mandarin twist.
I mean, there's other
like
things
that,
too.
I mean, but that's like what really ruined the movie.
Right. It is. That twist did just kill it. The ending
Yeah.
I thought was stupid too.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. But I think from the twist on is what like was really bad about it.
You know what's funny is like that is a genuinely funny moment. It just was not the right time.
Not in a good way.
Yeah. It just
like it. Had it not been the Mandarin character,
if I never was into comic books ever, if I was just going to see a movie just to see a movie,
right? Yeah.
That would have been really funny.
Yeah, I mean, even leading up to then, there were some issues throughout the story.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But up until then, it was like pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right. It's just the fact that like it was another person from his past that he portrayed or some way, or just was a dick to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the first one, it wasn't somebody he betrayed or anything. It was like Obadiah Stane.
But it was someone from he was from his past. A guy in a suit. It was another guy in a suit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And then the ending with fucking blowing up all the suits for no reason. And then the very next movie he's in, he's got all these suits again.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
Yeah, but yes, throughout 90, 95, 98%, however you want to judge it, of the movies, there's a good, Marvel has given you a great reason to have so much faith in them.
Yeah.
It's because they know what they're doing. They know how to work it. They know how to appease, hardcore fans and then casual fans, the people who read comics, people who don't. They have the balance.
They have,
to cater to both.
They somehow worked it in.
Without doing too much fan service and without, sticking too much to the source material and then putting their own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing. And I think that's why we're able to have so much faith in them. That's why, even though I didn't know anything about Guardians before it happened, and when they announced it, I was like, oh, all right. Okay, well, that's cool. Up until then, I was like, all right, well, I like, almost all of these. All right, that's fine. And then I like James Gunn, the work he's done prior to that. So I was like, oh, okay, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
And Taika Waititi, I like because of What We Do in the Shadows and his work on...
that movie's so funny.
He was also in Flight of the Conchords, right? He was one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like both of those, and I'm like, all right, yeah, totally. And I like his ideas. I like how he's working. And then the Russo brothers, I liked even before Winter Soldier because of their TV efforts on Arrested Development and Community. And then so it was surprising when they announced that they were doing the spy thriller that Winter Soldier was, but it turned out excellently.
Yeah, that was a spy thriller.
Yeah, that's really what it was. It was like a spy political thriller. Spy thriller. I think
a lot of
Civil War is more political thriller.
Oh, it's much more political. What I really like about, I think some of the best comic book movies are the ones that incorporate other themes from different movies into. Batman is a cop drama. Like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies are cop dramas.
Yeah, they're detective dramas. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I have so much, because the Russo brothers, I think that they were Marvel's best choice to replace Joss Whedon.
Right.
And by replace, I mean because Joss Whedon stepped down, he didn't want to do another one.
Yeah, I think
they felt.
I don't think that relationship ended very well between him and Marvel.
But that's because of Perlmutter and how the studio was run before Feige was given full control.
Right.
That's why Jon Favreau stopped. He didn't do Iron Man 3. It was because of Ike Perlmutter and that committee, more or less, that was really in charge of the studios.
Right.
Marvel Studios. But now that Feige's got full control, that could change for Joss. But he also wants to do original stuff, so it's not.
It worked out for the better. I mean, now you have Jon Favreau, who made The Jungle Book, which was awesome.
He's going to be making Jungle Book 2. He's going to be making a Lion King movie.
Yep, the Lion King movie.
Like
That-
even the movie, like the next
I
movie
cannot
he
wait
did
for
after
that.
Iron Man 2 that he directed, Chef, was a nice, nice
haven't
little
seen it.
indie. It was a nice indie, but like now, I think the Russo brothers have earned it with how Winter Soldier and Civil War turned out. That I
Right.
have like full faith in them, even more than I would have had.
I know on the
Had they replaced
podcast.
anybody else?
I know on the podcast before I said that I still like Winter Soldier more, but that opinion has changed. I think Civil
Yeah.
War is not a lot better, but it's marginally better than.
You like it better now than Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I did. Even when I walked out of the theater, I was like, I remember saying like Winter Soldier's better, but this was amazing. My opinion's changed on that. I think
Yeah.
Civil War is much better. I shouldn't say much better. I think it's just because I've seen it more recently.
You just think it's better.
It's just a better movie.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Russo brothers just reaffirmed my faith in it. And it's the same writers as Winter Soldier and Civil War.
And those writers have already proved that they can balance multiple characters without sacrificing the needs of a story.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because Civil War is really, a lot of people make this joke, but it's kind of true, was Avengers 2.5, really. Or if you want to go so far as
I would say
Avengers
that's
3.
that's the real Avengers too. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I loved Age of Ultron, I think people kind of shit on that movie a little too much. There are some lacking elements to it.
Yeah.
But there's also
Some problems.
But there's also some elements that was missing in the first Avengers that they brilliantly brought to the second movie. The whole cabin scene, which was like the best scene in the movie, and the party scene when they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Those were two of the best scenes in the movie.
Right.
But yeah, I think the creative minds behind it now are on the right track.
Yeah. And, Marvel's future is brighter than ever, really.
I see no signs of slowing down.
Plus the new characters they're introducing, plus, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, like when it was just him so far for the movie, after Civil War, I was like, this is, yes. I don't care who else is in it. Yes.
Yeah, Black Panther was my favorite part of that movie.
And then they announced Ryan Coogler is going to write and direct it. I was like, yes. Yeah, like,
Creed,
how can you make this
best
any better?
movie of 2015.
How can you make this any better? And then they got this amazing cast.
Isn't Michael B. Jordan going to be in it?
Michael B. Jordan is
Yeah.
going to be it. They just added Sterling Brown recently. I think the actress who plays Michonne is in it from The Walking Dead. And like the cast is still getting better. And Ryan Coogler is a phenomenal writer and director. Even if you didn't see Creed, you see Fruitvale Station. Fruitvale Station was was a very nominated film,
Right.
as it should have been.
I still haven't seen it. I want to see it.
Yeah, I think it might be currently on Netflix. I'm not positive on that one, but yeah, Creed was phenomenal.
Yeah,
And
Creed was it's the best Rocky movie. I can't believe it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies I still kick myself in the balls for not seeing in theaters.
Yeah, and right. Talk about a bright future. Ryan Coogler, man, he's got a bright future. And then I know Black Panther's gonna be amazing. Really excited for Captain Marvel. I'm really excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Ant-Man. Holy shit. I
Yeah.
think we haven't talked about Ant-Man at all.
we haven't. Yeah. So there's a lot of great stuff that's coming up. That's just gonna be wonderful.
Yeah, and we got all this from a 3-minute first day shoot
Yeah.
teaser. It's just so much. It's just so funny how much content they're just diving into.
Right.
Imagine if everything just stopped.
No, I don't want it to.
Like they're just like, yeah, we're done. We're cutting everything
no,
off.
Stop! Don't do that. That'll be a sad day.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, even though it won't happen because these movies print money faster than
George Bush
make
did during
make
the
money
administration.
faster than you can print it. Yeah, and I mean, this is still a year and a couple months out, so there's still so much time to get more information, so much more time to speculate and build theories and everything. So it's great. Not to mention just like the Marvel movies coming out this year. I mean, Guardians Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, which I'm very hopeful for. I think will actually, make up for the previous two Thor movies, even though I do like the Dark World. The first Thor is like, okay. But I think Thor Ragnarok will change people's minds about Thor in general.
Well, and as we've made the point multiple times before, is that, or as you certainly did too, more so, the creative minds behind it are definitely more in tune, just because of the way the studio is, since Feige has complete control.
Right.
And we've seen what these writers and directors and storytellers can do, and also what they've been able to bring out in the actors. It's definitely a positive turn for Marvel Studios. I think that can easily reflect on Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
So like it's just excitement. When does Ragnarok come out?
November.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's either the week before or the week after Justice League. I think it's like, or I think it might be 1 or 2 weeks before Justice League.
That would be funny.
Imagine the Thor movie outgrosses the Justice League movie.
I hope so. I could see it happening. The only reason why I can see Justice League making more money is because
it's Justice League.
It's because it's Justice League, and also too, the first 2 Thor movies people are kind of mixed about.
Right. Yeah.
They would have to be.
They wouldn't make them excited.
The only way I can really see Thor making more money than Justice League is it'd have to stay in theaters longer. I think Justice League would totally blow it out of the water the opening weekend.
Yeah.
Justice League would have to have disastrous reviews, and Thor Ragnarok would have to have positive to
say
unanimous.
Wonder Woman bombs, because apparently there's a whole mess of problems with it.
That is just rumor, to be fair, though.
Yeah, that is just a rumor. It could be completely untrue. But if say Wonder Woman bombs, that's even less faith in Justice League. And then depending on how Justice League turns out, the reviews will definitely affect it. Because both Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad had second weekend massive drop-offs in the box office, like 60 and 70%.
Yeah. So fun fact, and I got this from the Channel Awesome YouTube website, or YouTube channel. So it's not through research of my own, but Batman and Robin, I think, dropped 63% from its opening weekend to its second weekend. Batman vs Superman, I believe, dropped 68 or 69%.
Uh-huh.
So that means more people went back to see Batman and Robin than went back to see Batman vs Superman.
If you haven't seen Batman or Robin,
it's Batman on ice. There's an actual scene where they're ice skating.
Yeah, it's horrible. But you should see it just to see how ridiculous it is. But at the same time, know that it's a bad movie.
It's a bad. That's how I feel about Split.
Yeah.
I don't know, but everyone I talk to likes that movie.
If you really want to know how Connor feels about Split,
you can read my review.
His review on AwesomeSundayShow.com.
I think Pat feels the same way. You might hate it more than I do.
It's just
spoilers. I hated it.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
All right.
But that's gonna wrap up this topic. Again, thank you again to GameFly.com
and Barkbox.
And Barkbox. Again, you could go to GameFlyOffer.com/awesome to sign up for a free 30-day trial. And Connor, what's the link for Barkbox?
It's getbarkbox.com/awesome, and
you get a free month.
You get a free month with the purchase of a 6 or 12 month subscription. So,
great. Yes, guys, thank you again. And remember, check out all our blogs and all our episodes on AwesomeSundayShow.com. And you know what? Get a free sticker while you're there. Right at the top, there's a free sticker button. You just fill out your information.
We'd love to send it to you. Throw it on your guitar, your computer, whatever you want to play stickers.
Bring it to a tattoo parlor and be like, hey, I want this.
On my ass cheek.
Forehead or ass, ass cheek too. I have an inappropriate joke, but I'm not going to make it.
Tell me after we're done.
I'll tell you after.
All right.
But guys, thanks for listening. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and everything that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. But if you want to follow us personally on Twitter or Instagram, on Twitter I'm at RickPatMick.
I'm at Less Than Connor.
Instagram I'm PatMCN_.
Whoops. Didn't mean to interrupt you there.
That's fine.
Yeah, like I said, I'm at Less Than Connor, and then also my Instagram name is Less Than Connor.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a great Sunday and a great rest of your week.
Peace.